Hey, I'm back again with another example as to how to set handspun yarn. So far, we've looked at wet setting with thwacking, my favorite way to do it. We've also looked at steam setting, and I'm just going to show you a third way that I like to set handspun yarn that isn't overly unbalanced. It's fairly straight. It's a quick and dirty way to get the job done and get on with life. We're going to use this spiral ply yarn here and this little two-ply that I also spun up with the leftovers from the spiral ply. So I'm going to get these two tied together so they don't tangle when they go into the sink, and we'll get started. Okay, so here we are at my little paint splattered bar sink here in the studio. I've mentioned in other videos this has seen a lot of art over the years from my kids, so don't mind the paint splatters. It won't come out on the yarn. And I'm going to do this really, really quickly. I'm running some hot tap water over this to wet it. And I'm not going to bother soaking it for a period of time. Of course, if you're worried about wasting water, I'm on a well. I have a ton of water that I don't have to pay for. Um, Certainly, fill your sink, soak your yarn, but I'm not even going to do that. We're just going to do this real quick. A few pumps of TNA soap, which is just like Synthropol. I like this one because I can buy it in Canada a little easier than the actual Synthropol brand that comes out of the US. And just running that hot water back and forth, and it's hot, but it's not hot enough that my hands are getting burnt, obviously. So the Synthropol is just going to remove any dirt or oils that might have transferred to the yarn when I was spinning the fiber. It also opens up the fibers a little bit. That's really important when you're dyeing to get the fibers open to receive the dye. I like to use it at the end too because I just think it's going to help with the setting process. Okay, we're all done. That's all there is to it. I'm going to give it a few squeezes here, just some gentle squeezes. This is superwash merino, so not much worry about felting. And then I'll get readjusted and show you how to snap this thing. Okay, here we go. 3, 4 good snaps, quickly moving our hands apart and just snapping that yarn a few times. That's all there is to it. You're done. Hang it up to dry. It's the end of the day here. I'm going to hang this in the studio. We'll hang overnight and we'll check on it tomorrow. Put a towel underneath to catch any drips. And that is that. Okay, here we are back the next day. And the yarn is nice and dry now. Looking pretty good. Looks pretty straight. Let's get a closer look here. Oh my goodness, I really love spiral plied yarn. It's so fun. And look at the bounce back on this. It has really great elasticity. That is a combination of the merino and the way that I spin it. I do like a tight twist. When you get spinning for a while, you learn how to do it and not get a lot of that grist problem that you can see if you overspin.
Hello, let's take a closer look at that spiral ply. This is probably my favorite instant gratification textured art yarn techniques that I like. Why? Well, it doesn't take very long to do. I get the opportunity to spin a thin singles and a chubby singles, and then when you put it all together, it just looks really, really cool. I love the effect, and when you're using something like a merino, like a soft yarn, it's just, you could cuddle up to it. It's so nice. Now, I've never actually knitted an entire project with just spiral ply. I usually incorporate this into the project to give sort of a neat effect. So this isn't a very big skein, but that's okay because I'll pair it with something. In the past, I used to pair it with commercial. I don't buy a lot of commercial now. I spin a lot of my yarn. I have like total spinning fatigue now for just your typical like, you know, DK or sock yarn or like even a bulky yarn that's just like straight, narrow, two-ply. Like, yay, I'm so sick of it. So this though is fun. If you just want to do a two-ply, you don't want to waste any more product. This will always give you a really cool effect. And as we know, when we spun this, we had a little bit of extra. This is just a typical 2-ply yarn. I'll put it in my stash, maybe use it with some weaving if I'm making a scarf, or every so often it's like, well, what do you do with all these little pieces that are left over? I like to categorize them by gauge and challenge myself to make something out of them. I have a lot of pairs of socks that are really cool with different colors, and you can see the progression of your spinning as well when you do that. So have fun with it. Have you ever done spiral ply? Do you like spiral ply? Do you like the look of this? Is this just too like, nah, I just give me the yarn so I can...
Thanks so much for joining me for this quick little video on how to snap set handspun yarn. I hope it was informative and slightly entertaining. If you want to find out more about me, check out my website, leilanihandmade.com. Always love to hear from you. Drop me an email or pop me a comment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.